Hello everyone, welcome to Trains on Tuesday. We're in the midst of this COVID-19 thing, nasty. I do hope everyone stay safe, play safe, stay safe. During this past week it came to my attention that one of our community members, cousin Vinny, from the BNSF 6951 channel, likes SD40s. Vinny likes SD40s. His favourite locos, he says. So, in comments or through a live chat, I asked him if he'd like to see what I've got. And he said yes, he'd love to. So that's our subject this week. We're going to take a look at my SD40 family. So, let's get into it right now. So here, in no particular order, are all the locos I have that fit within the SD40 family. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take these over onto the layout and take a closer look at each one, and I'll tell you a few stories behind some of them. And we'll probably even get a few of them running. SD40 family, folks. Here we go. Okay, we're going to start off with this one. This was my first SD40. This is a model power made by Mahano Technica in Yugoslavia or somewhere. AHM sold them. Various different makes. Or model names sold these, but they all came from Mahano. It came numbered as 5008, but it has dynamic brakes on there. That's these here. These two fans here indicate the dynamic brakes. CN number 5008 did not have dynamic brakes, so I changed the number to 5000 because that one did. Only the first 7, I think it was, 5000 to 5006, or maybe it was to 5007, had dynamic brakes, and after that they didn't. So 5008 was incorrect. I had to replace the frame on this one. My cat knocked it off the train table one day and broke all the handrails off, so I got another frame for it, and so it doesn't have the yellow stripe down it. I haven't bothered putting that back. Now, my second one was another one of the same, 5008. To make this one correct, I took the dynamic brakes off, and that hatch that goes there, that piece there, is an Athearn piece. That fits in there nicely. This one you can see the yellow stripe down the side. So 5000, 5008 by Model Power. Not the greatest runners, they're noisy, but I love them. Next up, this is an SD40-2 number 5247 with the CN cab on. This is an Athearn model, and this was custom finished. Got the ditch lights on, the snow plow, the bell and the horn in the correct place for CN. Lots done to it. The only thing that's missing off it is the brake wheel. The brake wheel should be on a stand right there. I did make one up for it, but I don't know whether I ever put it on and it's fallen off or not. But anyway, this particular one was a prize at a train show in Calgary. I didn't win it, but my brother-in-law did, and he was modelling strictly steam. So a little bit of wrangling and I got it. Gorgeous model. Those first three, by the way, the CM ones, they all date back to the early 80s. I'm thinking 82 for the model power ones and 84 for the Athearn one. Now along the way I have picked up several of these actually. Athearn again. I think one of these is a dummy, but maybe not. And both numbered 6027. No, 5860. I do have another 6027 somewhere. We'll find that later. I'll lose my focus here. Yeah, that's a little better. So these are Athearn. I do not have handrails and all that sort of stuff on them. I do have some handrails, but I don't have enough to do all of my locos. Not at present anyway. Anyhow, Athearn SD40-2s. By the way, if you don't know, this little black mark here on the side, that is a sighting glass for water levels. It didn't show up on the SD40 models. That was a distinguishing mark for the SD40-2. On to the next. Now we've got 2 or 3 models here that I picked up in a sale. Actually it was all one fellow and I bought his entire collection. And during the 1980s he had been very good at customizing these things. Putting handrails on, getting the horns in the right place, radio aerials, ditch lights, snow plows, all sorts of stuff. So that's an SD40 5116, and here's another one of his models, the 5261. This one has the wide cab on it again, and this one does have the brake stand in the correct place right there. Now way back I remember reading in Model Railroader magazine on how to convert these things to get the truck spacings correct for CN and a lot of other roads as well. He did all that too. I'm going to lift the top off this one if I can get it. No, maybe not. This one. There we go. These, by the way, both of these are so old. Athearn hadn't found a motor that was narrow enough to make scale width hoods. So these hoods are wider than they should be in scale, because these old motors are so big and clunky. But anyway, in order to correct the trucks, this was the front truck originally and this was the back truck. So there were massive modifications had to be done to those, and in order to get the trucks to stay on he had to put these pins in here, cut away the cover over the gears here. You can see that. It was all in Model Railroader how to do this, and he did it, and they run quite nice. So the next one up is going to be another one from this collection. So here's the third one from that collection. SD40-2 wide cab. A little rough, this one, and missing handrails, things like that. Stuff I could do if I had the rails. I'm not sure that I do. Another one that I picked up along the way, CP Rail System, when they were showing the Canadian and US flags together, amalgamated together, and loco number 5415. Again, no handrails on that one. Athearn. Both of these are Athearn. Just part of my SD40 collection, SD40-2. Getting back to this one, by the way, the number on there is incorrect. 9526 was in actual fact a GP40-2 wide cab, and I have a GP40-2 wide cab, again done by the same fellow, and on that one he's put the SD number. So I think he just made a mistake there when he was numbering these. Anyway, not a big deal. Not to me anyway. Next up, everybody loves a bargain. This one's undecorated and it was cheap. It's a Kato SD40. I have all the handrails, the box, the instructions, everything to go with that one. It's got dynamics on it, so I do want to get that one painted up for CN, and it'll have to be in the number series 5000 to 5007. I'll have quite a few in that number series if I get this done. Now here we diverge a little bit. My Wisconsin Central, number 6524, I'm sorry. This is an SD45. This one's a dummy. Got all the handrails on. They need painting up yet, but if you look on the side here, you can see the flared out radiators that make it an SD45. They were big beasts of engines, they were in their day. Okay, on to the next. Okay, another oddball here. I wouldn't have bought this one purposely, but it came in a job lot sale, as the British would say. It was in a box of stuff I bought. It's Athearn, and this is a snoot nose, a very long nose, SD40T2. T standing for tunnel. Radiators on an SD40 are normally up here, but in tunnels they found that locos in the center of the train were overheating, so they devised the SD40T2 that had the radiator intakes set low down here. Radiators are still up here, but these are set down here. The only difference, visible difference between this and an SD45T2 is the hatches that are up in here. You can just barely make them out on the tip of my finger there, a little bit different color there. There are two access hatches there. The SD45 had 3 access hatches there. At the time I got this, I think SP and Denver and Rio Grande were the only ones operating these types of engines. Other than that, what's that other one? DMIR, not sure what that is. They had them too. Since I've had this and it's been sitting in a box undecorated, CN bought out the DMIR or whatever it is, and they painted these up in CN colors, so that's another one to get painted. Okay, over to another Athearn CP 6027. Yeah, that's my other 6027. Handrails all on it. Quite a bit of finishing work done on it, and as you can see, it's weathered. This made a trip to England, and my very good friend Roy custom weathered it for me. Beautiful job. At the moment, I have the shell on a dummy chassis. That's because I didn't want to ship the weight of a motor over there as well, so I put it on a dummy and shipped it over as cheaply as I could. Anyway, that's that one. Grand Trunk Western, number 5930. Handrails on, detailing done. This carries the North American, CN North America livery, with the stylized map in here of North America, Canada, US and Mexico. That was a paint scheme that was not well received amongst rail fans, shippers and all the rest, so it was short-lived. We're almost up to today's paint scheme. Fully red cabs and the white stripe. Just today they have blotted out the map. Now this was picked up along the way, and I don't recall exactly when or where, but it's one of two the same. This one not got the handrails or the detailing on it. In this one we'll take a look at two of my absolute favorites. How could they not be? They're both Kato SD40s. No -2 on these. 5006, so I've got 5000, 5006 and 5008 CN. I bought that one brand new. This one here, how about that? Isn't that beautiful? Wisconsin Central. SD40 again. I picked this one up at a toy and train fair in the UK. I paid £40 for it. I think at the time that would have equated to around $65, something like that. Anyway, to me that's beyond gorgeous. That's wonderful. For our English viewers, Wisconsin Central was the parent company of EWS. You may recognize the colors. Okay, a couple of slightly different ones again this time. A local modeler here, a friend of mine, models early BN, and these were a couple of locos that he had done, at least the shells, not the power units. He was in the process of custom painting them. This one he ran into a bit of problem. He got some paint bleed here, you can see along the line, some black bled into it, and he just traded these things in, both of these, at the local hobby shop. Now this one here is an SD40P2, the P standing for passenger. Instead of having an angled end, this one has a flat end, and if you look on top you can see the characteristic marks, bumps and marks of a steam generator. This loco was built for passenger work. I think only 2 railroads ever bought these from EMD when they were in the catalogue, and one of them was Great Northern. And as Great Northern became part of the Burlington Northern group of companies, this would have originally been a Great Northern. The other one, also from the same fellow, the shell anyway, the frame under this one, the chassis under this one, and the motor, they came from an undecorated SD45, and I still have the shell for that. Or yes, the shell. This is an SD45 again. Handrails, grab irons, not sure what the yellow light on top is called, but horns in the right place, all that sort of stuff. Great addition to my fleet. Very happy to have them. Now this one we looked at quite recently. This was from the collection of my friend John, who sadly passed away not too long ago, a couple of years actually, but not that long ago. It's a long nose SD40-2 Kato engine, absolutely gorgeous. It had been started as far as the detailing was concerned. Handrails are on, grabs are on, snowplow was on, a few bits and pieces were on, but not everything, including the front and rear railings. These ones here across the front. And unfortunately, as I went through to complete it, I discovered that the back ones are missing. Or at least one set's missing. So I've got to try and get that. Probably be a whole new detail pack from Kato on that one. Anyway, we're almost done. Quite a story on the last two. Let's have a look. Okay, as we get into the last two, we almost go full circle here. These are model power again, same as the very first two that we looked at before. These are both numbered 6318, And the story behind these is rather poignant at the moment. In 2006, just after I'd retired, I took a trip to Montreal to visit a friend, and he seemed a little somber during that time that we were together. And he one day got digging through his collection, and he pulled these out along with a number of items, a really large number of items, probably 7 or 8 engines, or more than that, 10 engines perhaps, and a lot of cars. And he gave them to me. He said, "I want you to have these." And so as the world comes to grips with the coronavirus here, I can tell you that my friend, when H1N1 flu swept through the world, he was one of the people that did not survive that. So as you can imagine, these two are incredibly special to me. So there we go, my SD40 family. SD40s, SD40-2, SDP 40-2, SD40T2, SD45. Did anybody get a count on them? I don't know how many I've got. That's it. Hope you enjoyed this Trends on Tuesday. Look forward to your comments. See you again next week. Bye for now, everyone.